drastic changes to how these things play. If you already know how they play, if you already like them, or if there's one that like you feel like it could be better, but it just needs a little something, that gameplay is still going to be pretty familiar to you. It's just gonna be a lot more effective, hopefully in every activity that you like playing.
Okay. Well,
like Fighting Lion that you see here is now a beast, and John can tell you everything it does, but it is one of my personal favorites. I've been running it like crazy in playtests.
Yeah, the thing we did to Fighting Lion to make it a little bit better is we gave it more ammo, and we basically did a small adjustment to how damage works on it. So we added more damage to the detonation and took a little bit off the impact. So it places a little less pressure on trying to get that grenade to hit and makes the detonation a little bit more friendly.
Lets you reach out and touch people.
Yeah, it just makes it a little bit more reliable. Oh my god, it's fun.
So there's some hot potato action for me just now.
this design pass, did it include all of the exotic weapons, or did you pick some very specific targets that you wanted to focus on?
Almost all of them. There's only a handful that didn't get touched, and because we felt those ones were already playing pretty well, or already getting relatively positive feedback from the community, and because we did have a limited amount of time, we wanted to make sure we were hitting all the stuff that really needed a good pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Fighting Lion is one that you're really enjoying, John, what are you looking forward to getting your hands on when the 1.2.0 update kicks off Season 3?
I'm really excited about the Graviton Lance. We talked about it a whole bunch, but I think that one just came together really nicely. I think it's going to be a really good weapon for all activities. Yeah, it's going to be great. I think it'll definitely, in the PvP world, it'll definitely give Vigilance Wing a run for its money, for sure.
Well, we are in the PvP world right now, so maybe we can see a little bit of Graviton Lance.
Oh, another thing, while I remember, another thing we did to Fighting Lion to make it a little bit better is if you are still, it has more ammo now, if you are still feeling some ammo pressure, if you get a kill with the grenade, it guarantees a special ammo, an energy ammo brick to drop. Cool. Do we have any good snipers we could watch?
Oh, damn! You're welcome to go take a seat, Captain.
All right, fine. Oh, well, that wasn't it.
Switch something out.
Yeah, you should. You should.
We've got Risk Runner. What did you do to Risk Runner?
Risk Runner? So currently Risk Runner, when you take arc damage, you're resistant to arc damage, and it activates the arc overdrive perk, where basically the gun comes to your life and just like blasts everything with electrical energy. We increased the amount of arc damage resistance you get when the weapon activates, and then we enabled that for PvP. So now you can run Risk Runner.
Yeah.
If you get hit with arc damage in PvP, you will take half damage from the arc source. It will turn on the arc damage or the arc overdrive perk, making the weapon way more lethal. And then another thing we did is that we allowed the arc overdrive perk to enable when you have it stowed. So you don't have to have it out. If you have the weapon backpacked and you take arc damage, it's going to turn on. You're going to get a notification like, hey, it's party time. Time to pull out Risk Runner, ready to go.
Party time.
But important distinction for the PvP players is that you only get the damage resistance when the weapon is in your hand.
Okay.
So the perk can activate when you take damage, but you have to pull it out to be able to get the damage resistance.
Second match is coming up. We're going to play some Clash. Map settings being tweaked. Saw that Skyburner's Oath had been equipped.
Yeah.
Skyburner's Oath has actually been a favorite of mine. I've used it in Crucible, which is rare for me to use a scout in Crucible. What have you done to my baby?
This got the most, probably one of the biggest changes.
Yeah, it took a long time. It took a long time to like really dial in how the projectile was going to work. But basically, we talked about this in the 12 a little bit ago, but Skyburner's Oath had, sorry.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's an inside joke. It's an inside joke.
Skyburner's Oath had it had a relatively like good amount of utility and power. It was a pretty strong weapon. It just didn't have any spectacle. When you used it, it just sort of felt like one of the other legendary guns. Even though it was pretty strong, it's pretty effective for most activities.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of wanted to give it some sparkle, some pizzazz. And so what we did is we sort of like looked at the duality nature of the weapon, where it fires fast from hip and then fires slow when you ADS. And we just sort of like, okay, let's make a more distinctive separation here between hip fire and aiming down sights. So now aiming down sights is going to behave like it did, fire slow, high impact, precision damage. We put explosive rounds on the weapon, so anytime you hit with any playstyle, it's going to explode and do some damage. But then for the hip fire, what we did is we slowed down the projectiles, so we sort of like put a little bit of gravity on them, so you're kind of lobbing these like, almost feels like a rapid fire grenade launcher.
Okay.
And then we put some, the first attempt at doing that was like, okay, this is fun. Like I can see the sort of the feeling of how this is going to work, but it's pretty hard to actually like hit targets with a slower projectile. So we're like, screw it, man. We're trying to make exotics strong and awesome. Let's put some tracking on this thing, so you kind of don't have to aim all that much.
Target-seeking rounds.
Yep.
All right.
The first version of that was strong.
It was insane.
Show me those
It was
target-seeking
really
rounds.
strong.
That's nasty.
It would track you down.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is awesome. That's going to be fun, man. That is going to be fun.
Yeah, definitely great to like how Kevin's using it here. It's a really fun weapon to use as a warlock. It's sort of you're like strafing through the air and just sort of raining fire, almost like you're some kind of sky burner.
Oh God! Look at that. Have fun with your puns. Have fun with your groan-worthy puns.
Oh,
what was that?
That was Hardlight.
And what have you done to Hardlight?
Hardlight, we basically gave it the same functionality that Borealis has now, where you can hold down you can hold down the reload button to change damage types on the fly.
Okay.
And then we did something that I'm really excited about. So one of the things that people know and love about Hardlight, of course, as you can see there, is that it bounces willy-nilly all over the place.
Indeed.
The utility of that is not super strong. There's a lot of spectacle there. It feels like a laser light show, but trying to actually pull something off with that has been difficult. So what we did is, with Hardlight now, every time a bullet ricochets, it gets double damage. So if you're bouncing stuff around a corner, you're going to be doing twice as much damage. A little bit harder to hit, but when you do get the hits, it's going to pay off.
Blind firing, high risk reward.
And I am really excited to see what kind of montage material we can get from people doing trick shots, bounce shots, like shooting at the ground in front of somebody to have it bounce up and hit them and then melt them instantly.
Right. Well, as much as I'm loving the Skyburner's Oath exhibition here, I'm wondering if we can get, as much as you've talked about Graviton Lance, I'm wondering if we can get a Graviton Lance equipped on that character. Thank you so much.
This is going to be disgusting.
Okay.
Kevin's
and why
gonna
will
destroy
this be
these guys.
why will this be disgusting?
It's just good. Like we use the power of math to make sure the time to kill on Graviton is pretty competitive. So,
yeah, time to kill has been a frequent topic of conversation in our community. How does Graviton Lance specifically answer that question? You said the power of math. You're just making this weapon more lethal, more powerful. Well, look at that.
So basically, so one of the things we did to Graviton is we made it a 2-round burst instead of a 3-round burst. So the first bullet's a little bit weaker. The second bullet is much stronger with a little bit harder kick. But that's one bullet less that you have to fire, so it's already got a competitive advantage against other pulse rifles. And as we were making these changes for May, changes were also happening in tandem for the Go Fast update, which we released a little bit ago. And as most people know, pulse rifles got a significant buff. And when those changes sort of like rolled our way
together,
and we play tested, we were like, holy crap, this thing's amazing. And then it was sort of one of those moments where like, do we change it? Do we keep it? What do we do? We're like, screw it. Plays great. People love it. We're just going to keep it. So yeah, pulse rifle buff made this thing pretty awesome. And yeah, we're just gonna let it roll, see how it goes.
For the first 3 years of Destiny, we presided over a lot of conversations about certain weapons being OP. Certain weapons had reigns of terror throughout the course of different sandbox updates. With Destiny 2, a lot of the feedback has been nothing's OP.
Yeah.
And they wanted some of those rough edges to come back.
Yep.
Looks like you're doing that.
Yep, absolutely.
Speaking of rate of fire changes and things like that, Crimson?
Crimson, yeah. Crimson's getting better. Crimson is not necessarily going to have a flashy update like Skyburner. If you know how to use Crimson, it's going to be... It's going to play the same. It's going to be very consistent.
Oh, no.
What we did to make Crimson a more competitive option for PvP... Oh, and just for the whole game, the first thing we did... was,
Watch the taunts.
One of the biggest pieces of feedback about Crimson was that I run out of ammo too fast. So we addressed that. We gave it a whole bunch more ammo.
There it is now.
For the competitive world, we basically looked at Crimson as we want to try and match the time to kill of an aggressive family hand cannon, which is 3 shots to the head. It was interesting trying to solve that because Crimson is a 3-round burst, and it also, the burst fires a little bit slower than a pulse rifle because we wanted to make it still feel like a hand cannon. We actually tried it early on in Curse of Osiris. We tried firing Crimson as a 3-round burst like the sidearm, and it just made it feel really light, sort of like... It felt like you were using a sidearm with funny art.
Yeah, it did not feel like a hand.
Yeah. So we actually we increased the damage on the bullets and then slowed down the burst, so it really felt a little bit chunky. But anyways, trying to match the exact time to kill to an aggressive hand cannon meant doing some specific tuning to precision damage and basically the rate of fire. So we slowed down, or sorry, we sped up the...
Everyone saw that coming.
We sped up the time between bursts to be able to match the cadence of an aggressive hand cannon, and then to be able to match the exact time in shots to kill, we had to make it so that the first bullet of the final burst is the killing blow of Crimson. So, because it fires
3
rounds per burst, you actually have a lot of room for error there, so you can afford to get in some body shots or miss a couple rounds, and you'll still be competitive with aggressive hand cannons.
Yeah.
Cool. If you were to place a bet, what gun do you think is going to be a standout? Uh-oh, there it comes.
Yeah.
Are you going to go to Sturm? You're not going to go Rat King? All right, your choice. Your choice. We're talking about hand cannons.
So you can get some of those crispy 2-taps.
Give me some crispy 2-taps. Not bad.
There
Not
we go.
bad at all.
He's got it primed.
He's now got a primed overcharge bullet, which means he can get a 2-shot kill if he doesn't miss. So how this one is going to work is Sturm and Drang are paired weapons. There it is. So you get a kill with Drang. It automatically...
Oh, you're just so bored with yourself. You're just so awesome. You're so bored with yourself.
Getting a kill with Drang automatically reloads Sturm, and it adds 1 bonus round to the magazine. A new functionality with Sturm is that any overloaded round, so Sturm has a default magazine of 12, it goes up to 20. So rounds from 12 to 20 are going to have a significant amount of bonus damage.
But you only need 1.
But you only need 1 overcharged round plus 1 normal round shots to the head to get a kill in Crucible. And then in the PvE world, you can get kills with Drang all day, overload Sturm up to 20 rounds, and be sitting pretty.
All right. Well, those are the 2 Crucible matches that we were going to play today. Some good pearls there about the exotic weapon tuning. We don't need to reveal every single detail on stream.
No.
Might as well, we do love watching our exotic weapon reviews from our community, and that will be a good opportunity for us to understand if we've gotten closer to the sweet spot. We'd love to hear your opinions about these exotic weapons. You'll have an opportunity to get your hands on them on May 8th when Season 3 begins with the launch of Warmind, the second expansion to Destiny 2. Any parting comments about your work and what you hope you'll see in Season 3, gentlemen?
I'm genuinely excited. It was joy working on this, like just making everything a little bit cooler and a little bit better. I can't wait for people to get their hands on it, and if it's not good enough, let us know. Do another pass.
Hopefully it is. Looking forward to the videos that come out. We also finished fixing the sniper scope bug, and so snipers out there, like, your time has arrived. super excited about the montages and stuff that will show up.
Cool.
Yeah, and all this. So yeah.
Right. Well, this begins a larger conversation about Warmind and Season 3. That conversation will continue. We'll continue to give you a glimpse at how some of the different exotic weapons are changing. We'll give some different developer insights for some of the activities that we've revealed today. And we've still got a couple of weeks to set expectations about all of this. So we thank you for tuning in. We thank you for watching. We're looking forward to seeing you play Warmind. We're looking forward to bumping into you out in the wild as we play some Escalation Protocol. And of course, there's an entire new campaign, an entire new story to tell, and I hope we haven't spoiled too much of that for you. I'm Deej from Bungie. It's been my pleasure to host today, and we'll begin this conversation again soon.
Guardians aren't supposed to investigate their past. That's the rule. But I'm not good with rules. Not when there's this much at stake. The Clovis Bray tech in that building allowed us to colonize the system during the Golden Age. They, sought to create peace for all humanity. Which is ironic, because they also built Rasputin, the single most powerful weapon in the solar system. Either way, it's all been entombed on Mars since the collapse. Along with something far more terrifying.
All right, that's going to do it.
الو ويلكم يا شباب، ويلكم دقيقة خليني ادخل بث بنجي في تويتر. اسمه بنجي. اوكي وين هذا؟ زين اوكي. طبعا كلكم شايفين النهاية السعيدة اللي صارت. حد عنده اي سؤال قبل ما اسكر البث؟ اللي عنده يقول من الحين قبل ما اسكر البث بسرعة. حد عنده اي سؤال؟ anyone اي احد سؤال، ولا تبون اخليه ملخص فيديو احسن؟ زين احنا اول شيء عرفنا انه بيكون في برايفت ماتشز، بيكون في اسلحة جديدة، بيكون في اكزوتيك جديد، دروع جديدة، ستوري جديد، ريد جديد، الدي ال سي 8/5. نظام المفاتيح بيرجع ما ادري والله، مش متأكد انا. شتقن رجعوا مكانه، والله ما اتوقع رجعوا مكانه، اتوقع بس انه نفس ما هو. اظن الشهر 9 اللي هو اللي كل شيء بيعدلونه. اظن افضل شيء الخص البث، كل البث في هاي وحوش جديدة ولا هذول الهايب، هم الهايب نفسه ما تغيروا. لخص الفيديو ان شاء الله باكر بلخص الحين اليوم، بس برا احاول اكتب التفاصيل البث، وان شاء الله باكر انزل بال شو اسمه الملخص. فانتظروني يعني شوي تحملوا، ها انتظروني بس يوم على الاقل عشان انزل البث. الحين اخر الليل انا برقد، هو يمكن بلا اشوف لي نتفلكس شوي قبل ما ارقد، ما ادري مش متاكد الحين، لازم اشيك البث مره ثانيه واتاكد بزياده يعني. المهم ان شاء الله عجبكم الفيديو فيديو قصدي البث. سوري على التقطيع اللي استواه تويتش، صراحه ضار بالضغط اكثر من 100,000 شخص يتابع، فاضطريت راح اشوفه من اليوتيوب عشان اقدر اشوفه معكم. ف المهم ما بيطول عليكم، ان شاء الله يعجبكم الستريم. لا تنسون لايك، ولا تنسون شير، واهم شيء سبسكرايب. وان شاء الله بنزل طبعا ديستني بيكمل في القناه، ما بوقف. بنزل الحين ان شاء الله قريب بعد كم انزل جود فور اللي صراحه حبيت اللعبه. وبس هذا كل شيء شباب، لا تنسون لايك وشير وسبسكرايب، واشوف فيديو وتشوفكم الفيديو الجديد او البث القادم، ومع السلامه.